If I lost everything today and I had to start from zero, no capital, no strategy, no edge, I wouldn't watch more YouTube videos. I wouldn't try to look for another strategy. In fact, I would do the opposite of what 99% of traders are doing. And that's exactly why most of them stay stuck for years. And here is the inconvenient reality. Most traders stay stuck for years, not because they lack information, but because they're overwhelmed with information. They are trying to jump from one strategy to another on YouTube. They're looking for strategies on Twitter. They're checking indicators on Discord groups. They're comparing completely different mindset from trading course. And what happens? They end up with no clear decision-making process. So every trade feels like a guesswork. And that's why you hear things such as, I don't know when to enter. I hesitated. I saw it, but I didn't jump on it. And it is not random. It is just broken structure. And if I needed to start all over again, I would avoid 90% of trading content online. Why is that? Because more information doesn't fix inconsistency. It kills it. I would commit to just one system, guys. Not 3, not 5. And not this one works in this market, this doesn't. Just one system. Because jumping between systems destroys confidence. And you're never sure if the system failed or you executed it wrong. And that uncertainty is what creates hesitation. Professionals don't try new things out all the time. They stick to one proven concept and they repeat a single process until it becomes automatic. Second thing, I would lock in one risk model. This is where most traders get completely stuck, guys. So they focus on win rates, they focus on being right and avoiding losses. Instead, what I would focus on is one very important element that nobody talks about, and this is asymmetry. So what does asymmetry mean? If you haven't seen some of my previous videos, this is basically small controlled losses, and when you are right, you aim for 10, 15, 20R, or this is 1 to 20 or higher risk to reward ratio trades. Because, once you understand that, you realize something very, very powerful. So you don't need to be right most of the time, but you need to make a lot of money when you are right. And this is structure. Thing number 3 is the execution loop. So I would build one repeatable execution loop. So every single trade would follow the same process. Clear validation, defined entry, preset risk, and definitely no deviation. So now we are not based on feelings. This is not based on, oh, this trade looks good or not, but this is based on rules, because consistency don't come from knowing more. It comes from doing the same thing over and over again. And remember, guys, the more boring your strategy is, the better your results would look. And here is the thing that most traders don't realize. Consistency is rarely a knowledge problem. It is an execution problem. So you don't need another strategy. You need a framework you can trust. But also you need a framework you can trust and do the same exact methodology over and over again. So this framework needs to be repeatable. So once you trust the process, your hesitation disappears. You're overtrading, your emotional decisions, they also disappear. So find this repeatable framework and stick with it, guys. And this is exactly what we focus on inside of the mentorship, no more setups. Because once you install the structured system, the risk model and the repeatability and make it part of your framework, everything starts to click. So you don't rely on guesswork anymore, but on a repeatable and simple process. Once this clicks, everything changes.